wanted to record a video. I am driving, but I'm focusing. I do a lot of my best thinking while I'm driving, and I just wanted to make a short video about, I see a lot of, there's a book called, I'm not an expert on this book, so I'm sure somebody may correct me, but I think his name is Miyamoto Musashi, who was a samurai warrior and had, I think, 60 fights. He wrote a book called The Six Rings, and there's a saying where if you see the way, I forgot the exact quote, if you see the way in one thing, you'll see it in many things. Something along those lines, like the way of life can be found in many things. So it's like if you're a master of one sport, and then you might find somebody who's a master artist, and they might have found many of the same like universal basic truths or same types of things on the way to their mastery and their success, etc. But so when I see the dogs, I don't just see the dogs, I see life, and I see patterns, and I see them within the dogs. And this is a roundabout way of saying something I was thinking about is we want the cream of the crop, and there's a pain to life, which is that this is what it is. The best and the strongest businesses get rewarded, the best and the strongest athletes get rewarded, the best and the strongest, or you could use synonyms for those words, strongest, best, most fit, whatever you'd like to say, but most competitive, etc. The best looking dog might get an amazing life. And let's say you're breeding German Shepherds, this makes sense. It makes sense, and it's the way it is. You don't want to go to the worst, but let's say there's a German Shepherd breeder, and the military needs the best of the best to do missions with the best of the best, the most difficult missions. That makes sense. You need the best of the best to do those difficult missions. I'm not saying that doesn't make sense, but we always want the pick of the litter, and I guess, and I understand that, and what I'm saying is that, and this is, I didn't used to think this way, more so, when you're a young man, you're like, yeah, best of the best, yeah, that's what it is, and I'll just be the best, and then I'm good, then I'm fine. But I'm like coming back around big time to realize that, and it's bigger than me, it's not about me, I'm not saying it like that, but what about the rest of those dogs, and so that's almost like a spiritual mission or God's work or something along those lines, you could say. And you see it outside of the dogs, but you see it with the dogs also, and that's what fills up the shelters. And so I commend people and applaud people for adopting from the shelter, and I would love to at some point, I would love to have work with shelters and really match the right owner with the right dog, because once you've seen so many dogs and so many owners, you could get a clearer perspective of what's going to work and what's not going to work. And so it would be really nice to have the right people with the right dog. But my point is, I guess, is that we have an obligation, if you're going to be the best, or you're going to be on that upper echelon, I think there's an obligation to give. If you're an American, you're in the upper echelon in terms of the world. You're in the top 1% of in terms of wealth and quality of life in the world. Maybe it's 1%, maybe it's close to that, but you're in the top echelon. So we have a responsibility, in my opinion, to something along those lines, a responsibility, a spiritual calling, to give. to help the other dogs too, you know. And I'm not talking about giving up freedoms. In America, this could be related to socialism and capitalism. I'm not going to get into that. I believe in freedoms, but I also believe in, you know, making the choice to give back. And so with dogs, I see it a lot of the time. And I guess I'm just saying that, you know, I don't want to say it's an obligation, but I choose, and I would encourage, and I think a lot of people believe this, that there's almost, you know, if you got a good stack of cards, there's a responsibility of us. The dogs can't help themselves, but we can help them, you know. So I guess I'm just saying, if you only want this type of dog and this type of, you know, a dog that's good and the best of the best, pick of the litter, that's great. But there is, you know, for all the people who want to help, there's a lot of dogs that really do need the help. And just understanding, I think, is the biggest word. That's the foundation of the love. Understanding. You have the understanding, you're going to want trust and respect and those things, but understanding is the big word for the whole situation. And I hope throughout the rest of my life to contribute to the understanding, helping humans understand dogs as I've come to understand them. And well, I'm probably, you know, who knows, maybe a tiny fraction of the way to understanding dogs, really. And that's like mastering anything is a lifelong journey, I think. But just, you know, there's a lot of dogs that need our help, and if we could try to see things through the dog's eyes instead of making them try to fit into our own boxes, I think we could help a lot of dogs together. And I just kind of wanted to say that. I wanted to share that. I think I might make more videos like this in general, just sharing some thoughts I have. But that's it for now, and I'm gonna go pick up a dog.